Welcome to week 6 in our Spinal Resilience program. Today I'd like you to consider a word which is tensegrity. What is tensegrity? Tensegrity is what all of nature is made of and based upon the model of tensegrity. All buildings, bridges, constructions are built upon this model. Tensegrity is to have a balanced load across the whole. Every bridge, every building, everything in nature is based on this model of tensegrity. How do we look at that? Today we're going to consider these 6 diaphragms and their role in us having a balanced load across the whole. So if you could visualize a drum, the skin of a drum, if one area of the drum is not in tune, is too tight or not tight enough, the drum is not in tune. So think of the diaphragms as the skin of your drum. If any of these are not in balance, your whole body will be out of tune. And where does this all begin? A diaphragm is a horizontal plane of tissue. It begins at your feet. So the 6 different diaphragms are your plantar fascia, the bottom of your feet, which communicates to your pelvic diaphragm, which communicates to your respiratory diaphragm, which communicates upward to the horizontal plane of tissue right here around your shoulder girdle, which then leads to the communication right here at the base of your skull, then to the crown of your head. So that's our practice today. For this practice, you'll want to have a block, a blanket, possibly a bolster or a very thick rolled towel or blanket. And let's begin. We're beginning our practice today by coming onto your hands and knees, tucking your toes under. Now, for some, this will be very, very uncomfortable, if not painful. So have a prop, for instance, your block, that you can lean forward onto if needed, and rock the body side to side. The other option is that you could sit onto your bolster, and again, rock your body from side to side. Notice sensations. Notice your breath. And now slowly release. Tap out your feet. We will come into this once more. So remember your options. You can curl your toes, just simply sit back. Place some weight forward onto your block. Alternatively, sit onto your bolster, rock side to side. So choosing what is going to work best for you. Breathing into whatever you're feeling. Close your eyes. Just take a couple more breaths. slowly release. You might be very happy to come out of that. Tap out your feet. Next, we're coming into a cross-legged sit position. So one leg under, one leg over. Again, you might bring your block as a means of support. If this is not possible for you for whatever reason, sitting in a traditional cross-leg instead. So choosing your option, remember to rest forward onto a block. Close your eyes. Rocking your body gently from side to side. Now settle in, sink down. Come forward a touch more if that's possible. Follow your outgoing breath. Be aware of your outgoing breath. Begin to notice the pause at the bottom of your outgoing breath. Take one more nice deep breath. Slowly begin to rise, to release your legs, and to change sides. Opposite leg in front or on top, your block as support, folding forward. Adding in a rock from side to side. So we're changing angles, moving the body to communicate with the connective tissue, fascia, to bring a communication throughout the whole. So we want to discover, with working with the 6 diaphragms, if your feet are overly tight, that will roll up into the pelvic diaphragm, which rolls up to your respiratory diaphragm, and so on. Next, come to stillness, sink forward a touch more. Follow your outgoing breath. Take a few more rounds, just following your outgoing breath. Let the body settle forward and down with each exhalation. And again, notice sensations. If you're feeling strong sensations, be aware of that. If they're lending towards pain, you may want to change position. If they're easing or remaining the same, stay as you are. Take 2 more deep breaths. When you're ready, you're slowly going to release your legs. Now, if you have discovered a lot of tightness in the muscles of the pelvis, that will be affecting your pelvic diaphragm. So we want to work with freeing your feet, freeing the muscles around the pelvis to bring more buoyancy to the pelvic diaphragm. Now we're moving up higher, remembering that these horizontal planes of tissue communicate with the horizontal respiratory diaphragm. We're moving into the horizontal plane of tissue that's around your shoulder girdle and in communication with your lat muscles. Your block is your tool. If you find that the block is just too strong, too hard, add a soft blanket. Lying down, placing the block just here under your armpit, resting your head. We're going to roll slightly forward, slightly back over the lat muscles. And did I share that this also may not be comfortable? So just know that the tightness here will be speaking to you. Add your soft blanket if needed. Next, move your block down one notch. So if it was right under the armpit, one notch down. This area might feel more free or more tight, so notice what there is to notice. Supporting your head. The other hand will help you roll forward and back over your lat muscles. Try to get all the way to the back and then back forward to the front. If you discover an area that's really tight, feel free to remain there and breathe into it. And now take your block down to the last section on this side, so more towards your lower ribs. Remember to support your head with your hand. The other hand will help you roll forward and back. Observing now that you're getting closer to your midline. Are there sensations moving from the lats to your center, to your psoas or your hip flexors in particular? Take just a couple more rocks, observing your breath, observing sensation. Know that if this isn't feeling great, that's pretty normal. It will get better. One last round. And now, rise up. Take a seat. So before we go to the other side, close your eyes. Observe. How is the side you just worked with feeling and breathing? Is this side of the body positioned differently in any way? Now let's explore the other side. Remember to have your blanket handy in case you need it. Start with the block right here at the armpit. Your head rested, the other hand helping you roll forward and back. Notice if this side gives you more or less sensation than the first side. Rolling forward and back. Notice your breath. Next, the block will move down a notch. Support your head once again, moving forward and back. Notice the sensations. Keep in mind, you can cover your block with a blanket for a little bit more softness. Take one more rock from front to back here before you move to the last section. So remember, it's armpit, one notch down, one notch down. So you should be now very near your lower rib cage. Support your head, roll forward and back. Again, observing, is there any communication moving into your deep center? Your lat muscles and your psoas are ideally in a graceful tango, a dance together, not one pulling the other around the dance floor. So observing your deep center as you release your lat muscles. This will bring a freedom to this horizontal plane of tissue around your shoulder girdle, scapula, and lat muscles. Okay, one last round from front to back. And now slowly rise. Take a seat, close your eyes. How is your body breathing now? How is the shoulder girdle positioned? Is there ease somewhere? Next, again, you can add your soft blanket or your Gertie ball. We're working with this edge of your skull. When you lie down, place the edge of your skull on the edge of the block and slowly roll your head. Again, notice sensations. If this is too strong, you'll take away the block and have the head and neck positioned on your Gertie ball. Observe as you release this area at the base of your skull. Does your breath suddenly deepen or soften? And take a few more moments here, a few more rocks from side to side. bringing that to a close, take away the block, roll to one side. Before we do anything else, observe your breath. Is the breath more free? Somewhere. Next, roll back to your back and take your block to the final horizontal plane of tissue at the crown of your head. So using your block, massage your crown. Notice as you massage over the crown of your head, are there areas that feel tender, sensitive? Again, some areas that are overly tight, some not so tight. You can either press the block and massage the tissue by moving the block, or hold the block steady and move your head underneath. Work around the whole crown and even to your brow, the sides of your head. This is the top of the fascial system that weaves and crisscrosses from your head to your feet, inside and outside of bones, muscles, organs. Imagine a matrix of fibers crisscrossing and in communication with the whole. Take just another moment or two. When you feel ready to conclude, place your Gertie ball or your soft rolled towel under your neck for support. With your eyes closed, you're back in your constructive rest with your feet on the ground. Scan from the crown of your head to the base of your skull, to your collarbones, to your respiratory diaphragm, to your pelvic diaphragm, to your plantar fascia, the bottoms of your feet. Is the communication now more clear from your head to your feet, from your feet to your head? Is your breath more free or easeful now? And is your mind more still? Now draw the knees towards your chest, rock hug, move them around. Again, observing, are you more free somewhere? Roll to your side. Notice yourself at all levels. Now slowly bring yourself up. Perhaps you'll sit onto a blanket for comfort. And coming back to the awareness of yourself with the sensation of tensegrity, of having a balanced load throughout the whole. Your breath free, easeful. Your mind centered, your body balanced. Body and mind are two sides to the same coin. When the body is balanced, centered, the mind becomes balanced and centered. I'd like to close today with a sharing which is called The Way It Is. Rest your hands down, gesture of moving in. Close your eyes. There is a thread you follow. It weaves amongst things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder what you are doing or pursuing. It's hard to explain the thread. But whilst you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen. People get sick or die. You get older. Nothing you can do stops time unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. The thread that weaves amongst things that change. But it doesn't change. As your hands come to your heart, take this moment. Reflect on what holds you to your thread, to that place of steadiness within. Acknowledge whatever that is. And now acknowledge yourself for making this time for your practice. Namaste.